Remnant 2 review. My fair review. A long time ago, Remnant 1 came out. I played it, finished it, and I hated it. It was a very bad third-person shooter, full to the brim with generic maps and bosses that all had the same feature. 1 million mobs around them. I hated every minute as I pushed myself to finish Remnant 1, and I said I won't be playing Remnant 2. But it was an empty month. Remnant 2 came out and I was like, okay, I'll give it a go. Started the same as Remnant 1, but it got better and better. First world was actually the worst one and it nearly made me uninstall the game. But then a very good game opened up. For those that wonder, Remnant 2 should be played in co-op. Single player is also doable, but the game was really designed for co-op. Now let's rate Remnant 2 properly as it deserves. The first section is the story. Solid story, ruined with cringe moments in the end. Again, you fight root rot, corruption, and again, your job is to stop it. Simple story. What's actually good are side quests, stories, and world map stories. I like them more than the main quest line. Weird. There are cinematics, boss intros, the game is atmospheric enough, but still it feels like it came out in previous decade and not in this one. For the price they're asking for, higher quality is needed. 6 out of 10 for the story. Next section is game bugs and optimization. Man, this game is making my PC hot. It's literally burning, but I also played it during summer. Great game to play during winter to heat up your entire apartment. Now jokes aside, there is no excuse for this bad optimization. There will be stutters from time to time, very few bugs and glitches, and none of them was game breaking for me. 7 out of 10 for game bugs and optimization. Next section would be game time. That depends on a player's skill, pace, difficulty you're playing, as well as if you decide to go with a new game plus. I finished the game once and I'm about to start new game plus, and I nearly 100%ed the game on my first run. I solved every puzzle, seen nearly every secret, killed almost all bosses, and explored every question mark dot on the world map. And that all took me around 28 hours for one run. Now if I decide to replay on the hardest difficulty available, I think it's apocalyptic, the game will open up new procedural maps and maxed out gear will be available. I guess around 60 to 80 hours of content is in this game in total. It's very solid. Now does it justify 50 to 70 bucks price? No, it does not. This is a 20 to 30 bucks quality game. Anyways, there is more content than in 99% of AAA games, and I compare Remnant 2 with AAA games cause it costs like a AAA game. 7 out of 10 once price is down to 20 to 30 bucks, then it can be a higher score here. Next section would be game difficulty. There's 4 difficulties to pick from. No matter what you pick, you will have proper amount of challenge. 2 starting difficulties as well as 2 new game plus difficulties. Enemy scaling with your level, generally speaking, game is balanced very well. I died quite a lot, but that's because of the game design. It was made for co-op, so enemies are spawning behind you, they're teleporting behind you, and this game acts like you're supposed to have eyes on the back of your head. I also died a lot because of random stutters. Now, co-op should have different spawns from single player, and that's a fact. Because in co-op, everyone is looking on their own side, guarding your back. In single player, there's no one to guard your back. And that's what's making this game so freaking difficult. Now, a thing for these Remnant 2 devs to learn, when you spawn enemies behind players and you use ship tricks, you need to allow shooting without aiming, which is not available in Remnant. You need to aim in order to shoot, and you need red dots on a mini-map to detect enemies that are around you. This is the only way to resolve its issues with the difficulty. All in all, bosses, traps, puzzles, chase scenes, everything had solid amount of challenge. I liked it, but I guess a lot of people will hate it as well. 8 out of 10 for the game difficulty. Next section would be maps and graphics. 6 worlds in total with a main hub included. You will visit a jungle plagued with ruins and traps, Gothic-style village with sewers and dungeons, space with alien dungeons, labyrinth where all worlds collide, and a ruined, corrupted Earth. That's about it. Solid map variety, but what's far better than Remnant 1 is a map design. Every world has well-constructed side quests, secrets, optional bosses, hidden bosses, puzzles, and plenty of ambushes and surprises along the way. Graphics are solid, better than in Remnant 1, but nothing special for 2023. UI is really clean and good. Overall, map variety is there, and the game is not as generic as its first counterpart. Huge improvement from Remnant 1 here. 8 out of 10 for maps and graphics. Next section would be gameplay. What is there to say? It's a third-person shooter. A lot of people call this game Souls-like with guns. Even the game sells under the Souls-like tag, which is funny, because there is maybe 10% of Souls in this one, while 90% is Warhammer 40k Space Marine with a minimap. Yes, it's Space Marine. No cover, guns blazing. That's how I see the game at least. Simplistic, fast-paced action with addition of puzzle solving, backtracking, and dodging deadly traps. I can't call Remnant 2 brain-dead shooter like Remnant 1 was a very brain-dead shooter. Remnant 2 actually requires some brain to resolve its secrets and puzzles. There will be plenty of surprising moments, especially during the first run. Now take your time, explore. I enjoyed exploration more than the actual shooting in this game, to be honest, and there are really a lot of secrets to discover. 8 out of 10 for the gameplay. Next section would be leveling and itemization. I disliked it. You can easily play without itemization and leveling, very poor options to pick from. A lot of traits that you'll never use, a lot of skills that you'll never use as well, cause most were made for co-op. 4 classes to pick from and 1 hidden class as well. 4 starting classes to pick from and some hidden classes to unlock as well. Risk is usually not worth the reward at the end. There are plenty of relics, relic fragments and rings to discover, but very few armor sets and weapons in return. Items do not feel impactful on the actual gameplay. Speaking about weapons, you can easily finish this game with basic weapons if you invest all materials to upgrade those weapons. By the time this game starts dropping unique weapons, you already raised your weapon to plus 10 or so, and no matter what unique you find, it will be weaker than your basic weapon. Now what's the catch? Well, you spent your materials and sparse currency you invested into your basic weapon in order to kill enemies and progress, and now you're gonna lack resources to upgrade your unique weapons. In other words, game doesn't give enough resources to encourage change and switching builds, switching weapons. It forces you to play with one weapon set from start to finish. I really dislike that a lot. You want different weapons and armor? Well, you need to play New Game Plus or Adventure Mod and farm resources. Lame. Very lame. 4 out of 10 for leveling and itemization. Next section would be NPCs and enemies. Solid amount of NPCs in the game. None of them is important for the quest line, they're just there to be there in the main hub. As far as enemies go, variety is there. Bosses compared to Remnant 1, where every boss fight was with add-ons, this time 50% of boss fights are with add-ons. Still, it sucks. I love one-on-one fights, and when this game wants to get cheap, it will throw stupid charging and teleporting enemies around the boss to make it harder. Instead of making more movesets on main bosses, they opted in for a cheap boss design, again, like in Remnant 1. Still, it happens far less than in Remnant 1, but it still happens. They learned nothing out of the first game. AI is quite solid. Enemies will attack in groups, there is no breeding room if you don't organize and clear space around you to heal. Main world bosses are great, by the way, but there is only 5 of them in total, plenty of optional bosses too in this game. Truth to be told, there's a lot of unique and memorable bosses in Remnant 2. 7 out of 10 for NPCs and enemies. Last section would be music and sound. Forgettable music, solid voice acting, every line of text in this game is fully voice acted, by the way, and it has some good sound effects. 7 out of 10 for music and sound. Final verdict. We got 62 points in 9 sections, and that would be 6.8 out of 10 for Remnant 2. Way above mediocre. It's actually good, fun, fast-paced third-person shooter. What it takes for this game to be above 8 out of 10. Once they optimize the game, once they apply patches, release a DLC or two, and once the price drops to 20 or 30 bucks in around a year or two from now, Remnant 2 will be a very good game, easily above 8 out of 10. Right now, in this state, with this hilarious AAA price, I just can't recommend it. Wait for a year or two and play better and cheaper version of Remnant 2. I'm 100% sure that this game will age well. It's gonna be way much better than it is right now. For those that play co-op games only, Remnant 2 is a perfect game to play. So, bottom line is, wait for sale. Huge sale. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you on the next one. Thanks for watching.